Welcome, welcome, welcome to each of you today, and thank you for joining together on our mats. Today is month in review, November 2023, and we have had a theme and practices that have been centering around handling or facing our challenges playfully. And in the 3 classes that we have had this month, we have focused on 1, facing our challenges without disappointment, and 2, dance with our challenges, and 3, exploring our challenges without losing curiosity. So the common word in this month's theme has been challenge and playfulness. So your yoga invitation for today, throughout your practice, say no to disappointment. Say yes to dance and remain curious. Namaste. We'll begin together as we gift ourselves just a few precious moments. Arrive fully on our mats today. Adjusting or finding your easy seated pose, whatever that looks like for you today. Let's just take a deep, full breath through the nose and release that breath. Let's do one more together. A full, deep, receiving breath. And if you choose, release that breath through the mouth. And just pause in stillness. Breathe and listen. As we move into stillness, we're reminded that stillness is not the absence of movement. It's about creating a clearing to allow ourselves to feel. Brene Brown. Please invite this next deep breath and feel the energy as it fills you from the inside. And as you release that breath, let go of anything that's outside your mat. Next breath, we'll begin to invite some warming practices. Eyes open, arms reach out. Let them circle all the way up, palms, thumbs, fingers touch high above us, and then draw the thumbs to your heart center. Now begin to flow with breath. The receiving breath is the reaching and rising. Releasing breath as you bring the thumbs to the heart center. In our warming segment today, we'll review facing our challenges without disappointment. Just one more big full circle. And our very next breath, the arms will reach out to that big wide wingspan. Circle the arms behind you. Plant the palms down behind you. Kind of slide them back so you feel your torso kind of leaning back. And then gaze upwards and let the shoulder blades slide down as the heart center lifts up. Relax the breath, bring the head back to center, bring the body back to center, arms reopen to wingspan, elbows bend, fingers interlace behind the head, release this breath. Bow forward and draw the elbows towards each other. Here we go. One more of these nice little openings. Elbows open, arms slide behind you. Let them reach back. And then gaze up and lift your heart upwards. Relax and release the breath. Body back to center, arms reopen. Interlace those fingers behind your head. Draw the elbows together as you bow forward. And as we come back up into that center, with the fingers still behind the head, we'll do just a little bit of side twisting now. Turning your torso to your right side. Let your left elbow start to travel to your right leg. Rise back up to center. Open up both elbows. Release a breath. Turn your torso to the left. Right elbow travels over towards the top of your left thigh. Open again. And then release, breathe, and flow. So when we notice something that we would wish otherwise, that might take us into disappointment. Remember, yoga asks us to say no to disappointment, but rather rise into your playfulness. One more time. And as we all come back into center with those elbows reaching out wider, heart center lifting up a little higher, soften the practice, release the hands, open the arms, begin to transition to tabletop. From our tabletop today, we're going to begin with a little toe stretch. So we start to tuck the toes under. And maybe today this is the perfect place just to pause, just to kind of reach the hips back and forward and just feel the little stretch through the soles of the feet and the toes. Maybe today you start to reach the hips back towards the heels and allow the hips to lower down towards the heels. When we move into our truth with yoga, we don't need to be disappointed because we're not pushing beyond or above anything that the body, breath, and mind are capable of. So really modify, do what's right for you. So with this nice little soul stretch, toe stretch, we'll do 2 more breaths. See if you can lift the heart as you release and relax into the practice wherever you are. And then the next releasing breath, please return to your tabletop. Transition. Bring the tops of the feet down to the mat. If there's a little tingling in the soles or the toes, just tap the tops of the feet onto your mat. Flow through a spinal wave. Tailbone tucking, head bowing. Receiving breath, upward wave. Tailbone, crown of the head lift. And let's draw the heart center forward today. So feel the shoulders and arms engage as the heart center draws forward. Flow one more cycle or one more sequence, please. Saying no to disappointment reminds us that we're always practicing within our healthy edges. From this tabletop, we're going to step back to a plank. So reach one leg all the way back. Come to those tippy toes again. Reach the other leg back. Gaze forward. Then gaze down at the mat so the neck stays long. And then let's see if I can do a spinal wave here. Remember, it's all about playfulness. Release a breath. Tailbone and head bow down. Receive a breath. Tailbone, crown of the head, and the heart pulls center. What do you notice shifting? One more. Spinal wave from plank. Yeah. Next time you come back into your full plank, transition to downward dog. Hips start to reach. Body starts to reach back towards the thighs. Let's walk the dog this morning. So heels come up, heels come down. All the while, remain focused with the alignment through your upper body. Can you really feel those shoulder blades broadening outwards? Can you really sense those arms igniting with energy in the palms, or maybe you've got your fingers folded in, pressing down. Let's receive a breath together. Let's lift the heels up together as high as they'll lift. Release a deep breath. Now bring both heels down towards the mat together. Play with breath as you notice what challenges you're beginning to say no to with disappointment and say yes to with playfulness. One more breath. We got that. Receive a breath. Start to transition forward. Go through plank. Go right back into the tabletop. Tops of the feet down again. Spinal wave. Just still warming. So focus on the inner movements with the connection of your breath. And then we're going to forearm plank today. Forearms come down. Palms press down. Fingers press wide. Gaze down at the knees. Stretch the opposite leg back that you did for full plank just a moment ago. And then the other leg back. Full plank. Into forearms. So draw those elbows in. Don't let them fall out. Keep them drawn in. Keep those shoulders active. Tailbone tucking. Core energy engaging. Breath deepening, because we're going to do 2 more breaths. Focus on that. Yeah. And then softly and slowly transition back to your tabletop. Flow back to tabletop. Bring that left leg forward to your low lunge. Reach out the arms. Lift the torso. And then see if you can lift those arms all the way up as the eyes gaze up. So sometimes our challenges are places that we haven't even visited. Like just shifting where we're focusing through the eyes might be a new challenge for us. As you release that next breath, release the arms into sun god. And then elbows bent, again, fingers interlaced behind the head, thumbs point down, reach back, receive a breath, come back through center, now flow, release the breath, hips hinge, bow forward, elbows draw towards each other, rise back up, open the front body as you gaze up, and release your breath as you bow forward, elbows draw towards each other, one more. Yeah. Open the front body. Release a deep breath. Now as you hip hinge, the back body opens. Remember, you're facing your challenges playfully here. And come back into that center. Reopen the arms through wingspan. Draw the arms forward. Circle them forward. Palms facing each other. Reach through the fingertips again. Plant the palms down inside our left foot now. So the left hand is inside the left foot. The right hand is just in line with the left hand. Fingers wide, maybe thumbs just touch each other. Release the breath, gaze down at your right knee. You can keep the right knee down, or if you wish, you can lift that right knee up and then reach back. Here's a playful move. This is lizard or high, low lunge. Wide, low lunge. Take your left hand and arm. Bring it behind your left leg and plant the palm of your left hand on top of your left foot. Gaze down and then just notice, what playfulness can you begin to practice as you go a little bit deeper here into this nice hip opener, and release a breath. Slowly, surely bring yourself back where you started, and then pick up that left hand. Bring it to the outer edge of your left foot. Reach the left arm forward, going into a twist. And let that left arm reach up, circle up. Feel the torso opening. How about the right shoulder? Can you bring it down? How about the eyes? Can they change their focus? And that might be a little challenge. It might throw you off balance. That's okay. Just play with it. Release the breath. Slowly release your left arm down, out to the side, behind you, whatever works best for you. Plant that left palm down outside the left foot. Stretch through a little bit of pyramid. So if the back knee is down, please bring it up. And then gently bend that left knee again. Transition back to tabletop. From tabletop, one spinal wave. Flow through. We're just starting to warm into energizing here. So notice what's shifting inside. From your tabletop, now you're going to step the right foot forward into the low lunge. You're going to reach the arms out again and reach up through the torso. Elbows bend to the sun god arms, and then bring the fingers interlace behind the head. Lean back lightly. Release the breath here and receive a breath. Flow through center. Release the next breath. Bow forward. So where can the elbows kind of draw towards each other as you flow here? How strong and centered can your lower body maintain the upper body's movements? One more. Release. Bow. Really grow deeper, 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 and then rise back up. Elbows open out. Arms reopen through the wingspan. Circle the arms forward. Palms face each other. Reach through the fingertips. And then plant the palms down. Right hand inside the right foot. Left hand just to the outer edge of the right. And just see if the thumbs can touch. So that'll just ensure that the fingers stay wide and the palms stay planted down strong. Now you can keep that left knee down, or you can lift that left knee up. Yogi's choice. Reach back through that left leg. And if you like that little playful move on the other side, pick up your right hand. Bring your right arm around behind the right leg and plant the right palm on top of the right foot. Don't forget about keeping that back leg strong. So remember, when you're facing your challenges playfully, this gives you some freedom. You don't have to show up in any certain way. Just invite yoga to meet you where you are today. And release the breath. Softly and slowly bring that right hand back to the inside of the right foot if it went otherwise. And then we're going to reach that right arm forward. Here comes the twist. Start to circle that right arm upwards. Gaze up at those fingertips. Draw the left shoulder blade down. Open through the front body and release the breath. Now we're going to bring the right arm down, however it serves you best. And when the right palm is planted down, stretch through pyramid. Lift up the back knee if it was down. And then reach back to downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. Maybe you always go to split dog first. Maybe you move back to down dog and you just walk the dog each time. Play with it. Now we're ready to begin energizing. So we'll review dance playfully with your challenges. Here we go, from downward dog. We reach out the left leg to split dog this time. Bend the left knee. Turn the left heel over to the right side of your mat and then lift the left knee up. And just see where it can travel over to the right. Nice little hip opener. Remember now it's flowing like a dance and it's playful yet all the way through each challenge. Bring your knee back into that center. Stretch it out. Step that left leg forward to the high or the runner's lunge. Receive the next breath. We're going to slowly reach the arms back. Go to airplane, please. So you really feel those shoulder blades draw down. Spread those fingers wide. Palms are facing each other. You're going to rise to warrior one. So as the arms circle down and then they reach forward, you start to plant that right foot down 45 degrees or 60 degrees as you keep reaching and rising through the upper body. Let's sink down, one releasing breath into our warrior one. And then we're going to do an open twist here. Releasing the next breath. Reach that right arm forward. Is it dancefully playing for you here? It's just flowing like a little dance. As the right arm comes up, the left arm comes down. You open both arms out. Let's turn the thumbs up. Palms face forward. Gaze forward. So the front body is facing the long edge of your mat as you continue to reach through the arms. And then we're going to go into a little revolving twist here. Release the next breath. Reach that left arm forward. Feel the reach. So it would be like side angle, triangle for the reach. Bring the left arm down and keep the right arm reaching up high. And let's see if we can open into this. You might even take a little bind. You might bend that right elbow. Slide the back of the hand across the back of your body. You might find some part of your left thigh that you can just kind of meet and greet there. Just a little touch. One more breath. And then very slowly and gently, we start to come out of this twist. We reach out the right arm. Lift your body up. Reach it up. Stretch through the left leg. Now, pivot onto the heel of the right foot so it's 90 degrees, right into triangle. Reach again through the left arm. Reach. It's every little breath is like a note in the music as you dance. You're dancing playfully through the challenges. Remember, don't get disappointed. Say no to disappointment, but dance with your challenge. Wherever your triangle is inviting you today, enjoy one deep full breath here. And then very gently, gaze down at the left toes. Windmill the right arm down as you soften the left knee. You pick up the right heel, spin on the ball of that foot. You're going to step back to split dog, down dog, or just down dog. You're going to stay in down dog, or maybe you're still really playful, and you're going to go to the open dog or the flip dog. And then you'd bend that left knee. You'd pivot on the right foot. As the right knee bends, the left toes touch the floor. And then as the breath enters, you let your body lift up. Gaze up. Reach up through that left hand. Maybe even make that little prayer circle mudra. Index finger to thumb. Gaze down. If you're in the flip dog, you start to windmill the left arm down. Reach out through the left leg. Let's all come home. Downward facing dog. One more breath. And then very gently, we begin to practice for the opposite side. The right leg begins to reach. Yoga is like a dance. Body, breath, mind, all together in harmony. Stepping up that right leg forward to the high or runner's lunge. Now you're going to rise to warrior one, remember. So as the arms begin to reach back to airplane, you start focusing on that back left heel. You release the arms down. You pivot the left foot down. Remember, it's 45 degrees for warrior one. So the hips will stay pointing to the corners of the short edge of your mat. You rise to that warrior one. You're reaching up, lifting up, and then release the next breath. Slowly release the arms forward together. Hip hinge, hip hinge. Get that left leg even stronger as you reach forward. And then you're going to bring that right arm down to the inside, and you're going to turn the torso to the long edge of your mat and lift that left arm up. And one more nice deep breath here. Whole body skill. As we release the breath, we are going to rise back up, lift up. Oh, stretch out that right leg. Reach out through the fingertips, set up for triangle. Release. Reach again through the right fingers. Reach. So feel that reach. And then allow that right arm to slowly come down. It's a soft touch on your leg, ankle, foot, or mat. And then you enjoy the next movement of this dance. You might gaze up at the left hand. It might lift up. It might start to reach over towards the left ear. One more nice deep breath so you can fully appreciate where you are in your triangle today. The releasing breath, gaze down at the right toes. Soften the right knee. Windmill the left arm down. We're going to go to down dog or down dog to flip dog. So pivot on the ball of the left foot. Stretch through pyramid again. Say yes to dance. Here we go. We're going to reach back, split dog to down dog. Or maybe we're just going to move from split dog into flipper open dog. The knees bend. We pivot on the ball of the left foot. Woo-hoo. The right toes touch the floor. The right arm reaches up high, high to the sky. We gaze up. We might even make a pretty little mudra with our fingers. Release the breath. Gaze down. Circle the right arm down. If you're in down dog, just one more breath. And we're all going to meet back home together. Downward facing dog. Next breath, transition to plank. Heels rise. Release the breath. Body shifts forward. Feel that shift. So a dance, every movement is noted. The body has got this muscle memory that brings you there, but then the mind and breath connect to make that unique connection with yoga. And let's dance between down dog and plank. Receive a breath. Hips rise. Release a breath. Reach back to down dog. Receive. Heels rise. Release. Shift forward. Plank. One more. Rise to your down dog. Move or dance back into your plank. And then from downward facing dog, everybody come back home there. One more breath. We're going to transition into a little balancing pose now. So with the next breath, the left leg is going to reach out again. Split dog. As the knee bends, we gaze forward. We step that left foot forward. Reach the arms back. Airplane. Feel how that opens through the front body. The collarbones expand. It's like you just create this space for breath and body to keep energizing through. As you release the breath, release the arms down, reach the arms forward. You're going to take a step with that right foot forward. And then with the next breath, engage the left leg. Pick up that right foot. Keep the right knee bent. One more lifting up. And then open the arms out. Stretch the right leg back. And go into airplane arms. with the right leg reaching back behind you. Nicely done. Release the breath. We're going to standing split. We soften both knees. We reach the arms forward. It's a dance. Playfully through your challenges. Remember, if you fall, if you wiggle, if you wobble, this is fine. Just playfully arrive. And then as you hip hinge, start to stretch out the left leg. And then start to reach back and lift up the right leg. So remember, the hands are way forward of the forward foot. And you're just on your finger pads. So you keep full engagement. Got it? Release the next breath. Softly bend that left knee. Bring the right leg down. Here we go. Forward fold. Plant the right foot down. Bow into your forward fold. Receive a breath. Half lift. Lengthen the spine or flat back. Release the next breath. Now we're going to rise back up again. So we bend both knees. We open both arms. We go into the upward salute. There we go. And then slowly pick up that right foot again. Just like you did before. When you release this breath, Anjali Mudra. Palms, fingers, thumbs touch at the heart center. Receive a breath here. Lift the heart. Release the breath. Yoga curtsy. Bend the left knee. Stretch the right leg behind the left foot. And then just allow your knees to keep bending wherever they want to curtsy you into today. So this is a little dance. Rise back up to the center. Slowly bring that right foot back to center. Lift the right foot up again. Release the breath. Yoga curtsy. Reach back, back. You might even hug the top of the right thigh to the hamstrings on the left thigh. And then you curtsy, bow into it. One more. Find your breath. Find the flow. Remember, in dance, it's not really a destination to get anywhere. It's just to enjoy the movements. When you come back into the center from that last one, prepare for balancing chair. The right knee is lifted, right? You softly start to bend the left knee. Outer right ankle on top of the left thigh. Open the right knee out. Hip hinge. Hip hinge. So when the hips hinge you here, you don't just go forward. You reach the sit bones back. One more breath. And then please rise back up slowly as you can. This is like a strong dance, isn't it? And then bring that right knee lifted all the way back up. Plant the right foot down. Upward salute. Reach upwards. Forward fold. A ragdoll forward fold. A swan dive forward fold. However you want to invite your body to fold once again. And then rise to the half lift. And release the next breath. Softly bend the knees. Step back to downward dog. Can you do the opposite leg once in a while when you step back? Ah, wow. Yoga is like a dance where the body, the breath, the mind are all in harmony. I like to call it a moving meditation. If that works better for your word choices, you can choose that. You're dancing, but allow yoga to meet you where you are. So you can always say no to disappointment and yes to dance. Okay, one more deep breath, downward dog. Here we go, practicing the sequence opposite side. We're going to reach back through the right leg, lift it up. Start to bring that right leg forward to your high lunge or your runner's lunge. Receive the breath. Let the arms go back to airplane. open the front body. Stretch through those fingertips. As you release the arms down, reach them forward. Start to rise up. Bring that left leg forward. Engage that right leg, muscular energy. Get strong. Picking up that left knee. Releasing of the breath. Reach the arms forward. Hip hinge. Reach the left leg back. And then open the arms out through the wingspan and return to airplane arms. Whee! Rise back up. Notice breath. Notice body. Notice where you feel strong. Notice where you feel a little bit wobbly. And as you release the next breath, we go into that standing split. The left leg starts to reach back. The hips hinge us again, but we're reaching through the fingertips forward. That long line of energy, just like you did. But then you keep going. And you let the fingertips touch the floor. You let the head bow. Let it be heavy. Reach the left leg up. Yeah. And a standing split. Maybe you like to wiggle the toes or wiggle and circle the ankle here. Release the next breath. Return to your one-legged standing upward salute. So you might just touch the left foot down first. I know last time we did forward fold, but we're just going to go straight up from here this time. Lift up the left foot. Prepare for your balancing chair. Anjali Mudra. Left heel crosses or left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Keep hip hinging. Keep letting the right knee bend. Stay engaged with breath. Your closest, constant companion. One more breath. And then rise. Start to let the body lift up. Bring up that left knee. Lift up the hands. Here comes the yoga curtsy. Anjali Mudra. Right knee bends. Bring that left leg back behind the right leg. And then let the knees slowly, slowly bend as you curtsy or bow into this. Here we go. Two more. Rise up. Go back to center. Feel the center. Lift up the left knee. Lift up through the fingertips again. Release the breath. Anjali Mudra. We bend the right knee. We cross the left leg behind. We keep allowing the knees just to bend. And last time. How's the breath? And when you have finished your last little yoga curtsy here, we come back, pick up that left knee, reach up through the fingertips, plant that left foot down. Forward fold, yogi's choice. Maybe you're ready for a ragdoll forward fold. Knees really, really bend. Hands on opposite elbows. And then half lift, everybody. And we'll begin to finish well together here as we review exploring our challenges without losing curiosity. As you release the next breath, slowly bring the hands back behind you, bend the knees. Now we're going into a fierce pose or chair pose. Feel the airplane arms once again. And then keep those knees bent, hips low, reach the arms forward. Palms touch. Anjali Mudra once again. Now from your fierce pose or your chair pose, can you tuck your tailbone? Can you keep that upper body open? And then go to airplane arms. Here we go. Release the breath. Hip hinge again, reach the arms forward. Now the chest is going to move a little bit towards our thighs as the arms reach back, but the knees stay bent. And then reach those arms forward once again with those knees really, really bent. Now we're going to really play and dance into boat pose from here. Begin to lower the hips down. If this isn't available for you today, just go to tabletop. And then the heels rise up. The arms reach forward. So the sit bones and the heels are getting really, really close together. And then open the knees out wide. Reach the arms in between the legs. So you feel the back body open like you're a downward wave. And then shift onto the sit bones. And then shift into your boat. However that looks for you today. Knees bent, fingers behind the knees. Maybe knees bent with arms forward. Maybe the legs up a little bit straighter. It's your boat. There's many, many, many boats. And then we're just going to kind of flow and dance with this. Release the breath. Bend the right knee and draw it in a little bit to your chest. See if the left leg can stretch out a little bit. Switch. So the right leg reaches out, the left knee bends and draws in. Now get your rhythm. Flow. Stay curious. What brought you to the mat today? Did you know you're going to be doing this? One more. Come back to center with bent knees. Let's everybody bring your palms or fingers behind the knees. Lift the knees up a little bit higher. And just see if you can give yourself a floating hug. Remain curious here. How do you keep the feet hovering as you draw the thighs in? What energy do you need to stay stable as you hug? So it's this strong stability and this flexibility dancing together. And then very gently, let's bring the feet back down to the mat. Let the soles of the feet touch. Reach the hips back just a little bit. And then we'll go into the butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet begin to touch each other. Hands, they're somewhere up above the knee, just holding on with gentle support. They might be below the knee. They might be closer to the ankle. If the knees and hips can stay relaxed, maybe you're curious and you want to draw the heels in a little bit towards the sit bones. Now you've got your hands and arms to support the upper body staying lifted. So let them be together that way. And then as you receive the next breath, lift the torso, release the breath, open the knees. Receive the breath. Just let the knees relax. Don't force them to relax. Just be curious. When I just release that energy of opening the knees, what happens? What do I feel? What sensations do I notice? Open the knees as you release the breath. Yeah. Receive the breath. Let the knees just soften. Just let them go to their natural little soft place. So dance a few more times with your breath. Curiosity. It's always from the inside with yoga. You're exploring. And then you softly come back to center. And we'll fold into the diamond pose. So we release our hands wherever they are. Start to reach the feet forward. Look into the inside shape of our legs until it creates a diamond. So in butterfly, you got a real squatty little thing going on. But you want a beautiful little diamond pose there. Lift the torso again. Hands can be on the legs to help lift. So you can feel, notice that uplifting. And then release the breath. Let's start to hip hinge and bow forward from here. Hands will walk down your legs as the hips continue to hip hinge you forward. There's a place where it just feels natural. That's a natural curiosity, where the elbows just want to reach out. And then the head wants to just be free. So you just allow the head to grow heavy. You just let it bow. I sometimes nod my head yes and no, just to make sure that, oh yeah, I am letting it go. It's free. It can move freely. Yes to no. One more breath in your full diamond fold. Then as we receive the next breath, we begin to rise back up. So the torso lifts. You might walk your hands up your legs. You might walk them out to the outer edges of your legs. Bring the knees together. Draw the heels towards the sit bones and just take a regular seated hug. Hug the thighs in towards your chest. Drop the shoulder blades down. And let's relax and release the hug and begin to transition into constructive rest. So today I'm inviting us all to come to supine with bent knees. Knees hip width apart, feet hip width apart, and you roll down with or without support. Chin tucks in though as you roll down. And when your spine is completely resting onto the mat, give yourself a little supine hug. So we pick up the feet. We hug the thighs in gently. Remember to always pay attention to shoulders when we're doing something that's asking for flexibility. Their natural place is usually lifted up to the ears. But we relax and we release them down. Remember years and years ago how we would always have the cue of no shoulder earrings. No shoulder earrings in yoga, where you would lift your shoulders up to the ears like they were a pair of earrings. No, lots and lots of space there. Draw them down. One more hug. Yeah. And then softly release the hug. Now we're going to go into supine twist. So if it's your preference to place the feet back down, please do so. We keep them touching today, inner edges, ankles, knees, and thighs. If you'd like to do your twist with the feet elevated, we'll go from there. But keep them close together even if they're elevated. Yogi's choice, arms open to wingspan, or the elbows bend, back of the hands on the floor to the sun god. Let's receive a deepened breath. Release the breath. And just to release the knees, a breath's worth. We do this just to prepare our body. Receive, come back to center. One more, release. Just let the knees release to the right as long as the breath is releasing. When you receive the breath, bring them back. Now the body knows, so let's flow. Release a breath. Let the knees release over and over and over to the right. Let the practice keep moving with breath. Maybe you're curious today, if you've always had your head in center, what would it feel like if I did turn my head to the opposite side of the knees? Or if you've always turned your head without question, what would it feel like if the head stayed in center? That's part of that inner curiosity that yoga is inviting us. We'll do one more deep breath here. And then we'll come back to center. So we're going to slowly begin to lift the knees, or maybe one at a time, all the way back to center. Release the breath. Release the knees to the left. Receive. Bring them back into your center. Two more. Release. Bring them over to the left. Receive, bring them back to center. And release. Bring them back with breath. Yeah. Ready for the full journey now. Release a deep, deep breath. Begin to release the knees to the left. Let the whole supine twist come into shape here. Where would you choose to turn the head? Center, straight up, looking at the ceiling, or over to the right? Maybe you're curious just to use another position for the arms. Maybe if you always had the wingspan, maybe you just practice the sun god arms. Just to be curious. Explore. And remember our challenges this month, we're always meeting and greeting them playfully. This is the time. One more deepest breath. And the next breath we come back to center. So slowly transition. Slowly transition. It's a slow dance, isn't it? Very slow dance. When you're back to center, arms come down. You give yourself that wonderful little hug once again and roll from hip bone to hip bone. Massage all the way through low back, hips and sacrum. Be curious. Can you really feel when your body's weight shifts from one hip bone over to the other? And does it roll about the same amount on each side or not? It's just curious. And can you feel the sacrum, that triangular bone in between the hips, really press down as you flow through center? When you're back in center this next time, we're going to pause. One breath. And then begin to allow the legs just to elevate together. You can always use your hands and arms just to help support the legs. Because you're home, maybe you just move over to an open wall or a door. Just allow the support of the wall or door to let the legs rest on as they stay lifted. Handling or facing our challenges playfully by saying no to disappointment, yes to dance, and remain curious. One more breath. And next, releasing breath. It's the gentle transition to Shavasana. Unless you're curious to remain with the legs elevated through Shavasana. Purpose of Shavasana is to just fully rest. Allowing the breath to breathe itself without the deep intentions. Just allow it to flow on its own natural rhythm. Our Shavasana message today comes from the Sadhguru. The very peak of playfulness is also an expression of the ultimate possibilities of yoga. Gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows, expanding that awareness into your space and wiggling through toes, fingers, rolling through ankles and wrists. And invite your next breath to awaken you as you give your body an awakening stretch. From this awakening stretch, we bend our knees, turning onto our right side. And slowly begin to rise into your seated pose. In our seated poses, we receive a deepened breath. And as we release the breath, we gently bow forward, giving thanks to our body, our mind, our breath, for the yoga practice available today. And as we rise back up together, we close today. May you be safe and healthy. May you live with enjoyment and happiness. Namaste. Please do unmute your